Hello, everybody out there in TikTok world, Facebook land, YouTube, and Instagram. Hopefully, y'all are doing great out there. I am Monty with 412 Productions, and we got lots to talk about today. So, let me double check that everything's bouncing like it's supposed to be bouncing. Bouncing. So, what are y'all doing out there today? I'm Monty Anderson with 412 Productions. Thank you for stopping in and checking out my channel. We had 3,000 views on the first, so that was pretty exciting on TikTok. So that was very cool. I'm trying to get everything working the way it's supposed to. Let me get this tightened down just a little bit. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry that I'm putting my arm right in your face out there in TikTok world. So, what we do here, we talk about comic books, we talk about movies, we talk about life, we talk about artwork, all kinds of cool stuff. Today I don't have my green screen on for TikTok world, so you guys can see a little bit of what I talk about whenever I talk to my Facebook audience, because they get to see what's directly behind me on the wall. Whereas the TikTok world gets to see my green screen behind me with my logo and all that good stuff. But I appreciate each and every one of you stopping in, checking out the channel, and being here with us so early in the morning, since it is 4:00 a.m. here in Central America. So, if you want to, you can comment from where you're watching from, because I know this does go around the world, um, and that's cool. I do appreciate it. My artwork goes around the world too. I've got stuff in Great Britain, and there's a couple other countries that I've got my stuff in. But it's cool. It's always cool to see when your stuff goes elsewhere. You know, it's more fun than when it's just, oh well, it's here in the United States. That's cool. But we're going to be talking about all kinds of cool stuff today when it comes to artwork and movies, because exciting times for me. Uh, I got to do a voiceover for a Power Rangers fan film, so that's exciting. That is going to be filming here pretty soon. They're getting all the elements that they need for all their Master Zords and their weaponry and all that good stuff together. The script is written and it is in my hands, that's for sure. But that's just because he needed my voice for the one of the bad guy characters that is out there. Mr. Champ is his name, and I play the. It's almost like the second command to the main villain in this fan film. So that's exciting. It's cool, and I did 2 different takes per line, so that I gave different inflections on different words and things like that, because you're still acting whenever you are doing just a voiceover. So a lot of people are like, "Well, it's just voice. It's just using your voice." No, it's more than that, because you actually get into that character and you portray what's happening in that scene. And that's where a lot of voiceovers get it wrong, because they just sit there and they're like, "Oh, this happened today," and all that good stuff. And no, you got to get into that role. You got to get into that character. Well, what really happened today? But no, it's all cool. It's all fun, you know. Life, and that's what life is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about fun and not being discouraged, if you will. But we can talk about discouragements if you want, because I do homestead as well, and I've got a lot of trash clean up from the previous owners who owned this place before me. The 2 previous owners used to throw stuff over a back fence on the regular, and now it's become my problem, because my fence line actually goes further back, almost 60 feet further back than originally thought. So all the trash they were dumping over the fence now is my problem to clean up, which is just a pain in the ass because um there's a lot of it. Tons of carpet and carpet pads and just household trash. When it comes to like, we found 4 different steam cleaners back there. We found uh, vacuum cleaners, microwaves. I mean, just all this shit back there behind the fence that they just threw over there. I don't know why they got rid of it behind their fence, but now it is my problem to clean up and make the property look nice. And that's one of the biggest blights of looking at my property. Yeah, I've got logs everywhere, but I'm splitting those. Yes, I hand split my own firewood. I don't use a machine. A lot of people are like, well, isn't it faster to use a machine? Well, yeah, of course it's faster to use a machine. But I am a machine. No, I just love it. It helps keep me healthy, you know. Since I am home basically 24/7 with my homestead and artwork, um, I am a disabled veteran as well. So there you have that. But I'm looking forward to this fan film. It's going to be fun to lend my voice to a character out there. I was hoping he would have gotten back to me, and maybe I've already missed his email, but I'll have to go back and check to see if he actually likes the voices that I sent him. I sent him probably about 7, 8. It was probably 8 since I did 2 of each. Sorry. Since I did 2 per line, I just want to make sure he likes what he's hearing for that voiceover. I got David over here. He's coming along really nicely. It looked really cool when I turned my lights off last night um, because I'm using glow in the dark and neon paints for this piece right here. Mr. David of the Lost Boys. It's coming along quite nicely. Right here, right here. Just making sure everybody can see it. Making sure everybody can see it. When I turned the lights off last night, it looked really, really cool because his eyes were glowing in the dark. So that was the last bit of light left in the room, was just 2 glowing eyes looking at you. So that's very cool. Um, I'm looking forward to getting this one completed because it's going to be fun. It is going to be a 2-piece canvas because the person commissioning it wants to see the hair even more than what I have on here right now. And so I'm going to put another canvas on top of it or something smaller. I'm not sure if it's going to be a canvas or if I want to do something more creative with that. But please like, share, and tell your friends about this video. If you want to as well, you can go up here in my profile and hit the links up there. You can find my web page right there. And from there, you can go follow my YouTube, you can go follow my Instagram, you can go follow my Facebook. That is where everything is at. My recordings that are gone live on Facebook go to YouTube and my business page, 412 Art Productions on Facebook. I am Monty Anderson with 412 Productions, and we are getting into some exciting times. So, today we're going to talk about some new opportunities that are happening. I am getting ready to do a new cover for a comic book. Yes, that's right. Um, I'm not going to give any spoilers to what it is just yet because I don't know if I can actually talk about it other than to tell you that I am in the works with a comic book company to get a piece of my artwork on one of their covers. So that's going to be fun and exciting. They're going to start it out as digital, so I need your help, your help, your help out there to get the digital sold. Digital cost, I guess it costs cheap. I guess it's cheaper than the original, than the actual paper copy in your hand. I haven't looked at their prices as far as digital copies go, but if the digital copy does well, and I super hope it does, I've got a super cool killer idea for it already, and uh, basically the premise is uh, take '90s wrestling with Point Break, and you've got a male and female character who are going around robbing places, robbing banks, and but one of them, the guy's a wrestler, and then he's got his dame with him, and they are robbing banks. So that's going to be exciting. And like I said, this cover that I've got already planned out in my head is going to be pretty cool. I also wanted to, and I'll give you a second. Oh look, we got spaghetti in the fridge. Yes, I do have a fridge in my office, um, and that spaghetti still smells good from last night. Unfortunately, it won't fit in the other fridge, the normal fridge in the kitchen. Brisk does a body good. Pretty soon, I'm gonna start cutting out these crap. I mean, it's not horrible on sugars like your sody pops are. It's not carbonated drink. It's just straight lemonade with 11 grams of sugar in there. But other things cause sugar in your body. But I'm excited, super excited about this project coming up, as well as getting this David finished. We talked about um, all kinds of different covers and artwork that I've got up for sale. You can grab any of those as you see because a lot of them are up for sale directly over here on my Facebook and YouTube posts that are right here. You guys right here on TikTok can't see that, but if you're following me on my Facebook, you can see that live right now. We do have all kinds of cool artwork just laying around back here, all over the place. Really, that does need to go home with you. It doesn't need to stay here with me. I've seen it for long enough. Once I do a piece, I think that's going to super sell. The prints at the comic book convention sell really well, but it's the originals that I want out of my hands and into yours. Um, we'll get into showing some comic book covers, some examples. For those of you just joining us that haven't seen my work before, like I said, if you really want to see the work, you can go up to the profile page right there, my profile, and you can go to my website, and it shows previous works, some new stuff on there, which is called remarks. Remarks are you take a comic book or a action figure or anything really, and you draw a picture on top of that. Mine are painted pictures on; they aren't just drawn for the pieces. Let's see. I can grab Ursula right here. So here's Ursula, one that I painted on here. It is a one of one. This will not be signed until it is sold. That is why there is no signature on it. But it is from The Little Mermaid. This is the BAM exclusive, the Books A Million. If you don't have a Books A Million in your area, I am sorry. Books A Million is pretty cool. They're a little pricey. That's why I liked Hastings a lot better. Hastings was much more fun. Had all kinds of cool stuff in it, from uh, records to cassettes to DVDs to comic books to, I mean, you name it, it was in there. And it was a very cool store. And I'm sorry that it tanked like so many other businesses anymore. Uh, and this was the mid 2000s. I got here in Fort Smith area in 2010, and it was here long after that. Probably, I think it was about 2015. So 5 to 6 years after I got here, it was still going strong. And then all of a sudden, they showed, hey, we're closing down, and then boom, it was gone. Sad day when it left, because it was a fun place to just hang out, just to go and just check things out and see what new stuff was there in the store, and it was just fun. And there's other stores that are like that that are fun and things like that, but but you just don't have that nostalgic feel anymore. And it's sad that a lot of those stores like that have disappeared because excuse me, and it's like vintage stock. Vintage stock is cool and all, but they have way too many movies, way too many old movies that nobody wants, and then their comic books are in disarray because they don't even put them in alphabetical order anymore. They just throw them in the box and, oh, if you find what you're looking for, good luck, you know. And then they're always doing a some kind of a sale on a specific comic book. Well, where is it in here? You know, it's like, okay, that's great, but now I've got to go through 500, 600 comic books or more just to try and find the sale on this book. Well, I don't want to spend 4 hours going through a box of comic books in a um, movie store, really, if you will. Their pops are overpriced. Their action figures are overpriced, and those are my gripes about vintage stock. You know, because I mean, vintage stock is fun. Don't get me wrong, but and if you hit the right stores, like the one up in Fayetteville, Arkansas, that one's a lot better because I found a lot of great deals up there. We just happened to be in there one day, and the they were going through some comics, and I was like, "Can we go through those?" And they're like, "Yeah, anything in here's $1." And I'm like, "$1?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I started going through it and pulled out some gems, like some Cryphodons and some very early Michael Linsner work on Dawn, and some of those are upwards of $200 for $1, you know, and so every now and then you find some good finds out there, and you don't find stores like that very often anymore. Even antique stores and vintage stores and things like that, their prices are so jacked up that it's just like you walk in and it's just like you walk out with nothing, um, just because of the prices of things. Now with that, you can get my artwork for much cheaper than some of the stuff you can buy on stores. Um, but no, I am looking forward to everything that's already happening this year. Is has been exciting and been fun so far, and lending my voice, like I said, for those of you just showing up to the show, and I appreciate each and every one of you stopping in and checking out the show. We had 3,000 people on the first, so that was exciting. That was fun, and we are just continuing to power forward with business here at 412 Productions. And it's like one door opens for another door, and then another door opens for another door. And it's just how it's been so far this year. And here we are into March, 3 days into March, and we're getting more chickens today. Yes, for those of you just joining, I do homestead as well. So I've got chickens, ducks, goats, and a pig with a dog and two cats, plus koi and goldfish in a big pond that's getting ready to get bigger. Um, just because we are expanding out the property, like I said, and we look forward to that. Just because expanding that property is going to be more fun than anything. Um, just because I get a bigger garden out of it. So, has anybody asked any questions or told me where they're watching from? It's always fun when people, interact with the show. We talk comic books, comic movies, and regular movies, especially horror movies. Horror movies are more fun than dramas or thrillers. But I'm just checking. There's been a ton of people already showing up today on the show. So I appreciate each and every one of you stopping in and checking out the channel. Excuse me on that one. It's a little loud, I'm sure, in your ears. But lots of artwork is happening. My own comic book is in the works. Um, I am also in the process of, like I said, for those of you that are still here, and those of you popping in, Claw, and so that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've already got big plans for it. Give something fun and exciting uh, to their covers. Not to say their covers aren't fun and exciting as they are or stand. It's just that, you know, this is mine. This is going to be my cover. And it's going to start out digitally, so I need your help. I need your help to get that digital cover, uh, the comic book sold as a digital form. And from there, if it sells enough and it brings enough attention, then they will put it in print form. And with the print form, I will get comps to sell at conventions and things like that whenever I do go back to conventions in 2026. I am not doing any comic book conventions this year, period. I am rebuilding everything. So that means I've got to get new table covers. I got to get new backdrops. I've got to get um, new prints made up. I've got to get new canvas prints made up. So yes, you will be able to get canvas prints of my artwork. A new thing happening here as well, where I will be talking about Antarctic Press upcoming comic books, showing you their titles and things like that. I'm hoping to get into some of the classic stuff too, and it's just, one of those things that if you don't know what Antarctic Press is, go look them up. AntarcticPress.com. They do a lot of manga style work, anime manga, and the Gold Diggers, Ninja High School. Used to have Warrior Nun Ariella, but he sold that entity off. So you've got Tomorrow Girl, things like that. And they've got a lot of new titles. And then I previewed his book 11 for Tomorrow Girl, and which had 3 books in one. I'm assuming just because it had in the PDF, it rolled from Tomorrow Girl into Domo Police, and then into Tractor Lad. So you had 3 stories in one. I think one was a standalone story that was it for it. Tractor Lad had 2 parts, so there's another part for it coming. Or I'm assuming that there's more than one part because it said in part one. So, um, and that one is fun if you're a young reader, not teenager, but like if you're reading it to a child, it's child appropriate. Um, and so that is stuff that there are lots of comic books out there that are for children. Um, so if you want, so if your child is getting interested in the comic books, there's some options out there. Unless you're a parent that doesn't shield your child from things, and there are a lot of parents that are like that, that let their children watch horror movies at a young age, that watch blood and guts and nudity and all that good stuff happen. And those are good parents as well. So don't knock those parents. because there's a lot of parents out there that are like that because they don't want to shield their child from um, the the world. They don't want to shield them from the world. But then you get the overprotective parents that shield their children from everything, and basically the only shows you get to watch are like some cartoon shows, some sitcoms on TV, and then your child gets into the real world later on, and they're totally lost because that's not what that's not their world. That's not the world they grew up in. And my parents were kind of the same way, but again, different era, different world that I grew up in. 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I'm over half a century year old. So, you know, I'm kidding, folks. That's a laughing point. But no. I am 53 years old. I will be 54 this year. So, yes, I am old. But that's only to them young viewers. Because you're only as old as you really feel. And I'm still working every day. And I'm not talking about going to a physical job. I'm talking about physically working, splitting lumber for firewood, cleaning up big amounts of trash, cutting down trees on a regular basis, making more firewood to chop up later once it's nice and seasoned. Um, so, all those good things that tie into not just sitting around the house, eating bonbons, and, you know, watching Days of Our Lives. If you don't know what that is, those are daytime sitcoms that come on, and you have to watch every episode to get the storyline, and you really don't because I remember my grandparents used to love watching Days of Our Lives as the world turned. Um, there was a couple more that they watched, and I would come back after having not watched those things because I used to spend the summers with my grandparents in the '80s, and after they moved, and so when I stayed with them, they loved their daytime soap operas. They loved those soap operas, and I would come back like a year later, not having watched the show period because it didn't interest me. But yet, here's the same almost exact storyline a year later, and it's just like, how am I still following this without ever having watching anything else that happened in the middle here? you know, it's just like the soap operas just got so ridiculous, if you will. And pretty much soap operas throughout the years have been pretty ridiculous all the way around, no matter what you're watching them on or what show it is or, those type things. But if you like soap operas, daytime soap operas, I'm sorry. I mean, that's not my gig. I just, I just remember seeing them in passing as that they flip it on to watch it. I'm like, I'm going outside. But, you do get some of the characters stuck in your head. Bo and Hope, you know, Cicero, names like that get stuck in your head because you've heard them so many times. They they become part of your history, um, your family, and that's what my grandparents really thought was that, and they really didn't think, but um, that they were part of the family, and and that's how it felt because they would talk about it and recap what happened, and how it played off of the last show, which was just the day before, because it was on every day, and I just just imagine filming for those soap operas every day for a long time, you know, for years, and the plot and story never really changes. I mean, there are some TV shows that are like that too, that you get into, and it's it's like, well, the plot never changed here. The narrative never changed. It's just the same show, just on a different week. You know, there's a ton of TV shows that are like that, and after a while, you just can't keep rehashing the same stuff over and over again, and that's why they end up going off the air because people lose interest in them. And then they try to revive them. They did that with a few shows. X Files was one of them, and that was one of my favorite shows out there to date was the X Files with David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, Mitch Pileggi. The list goes on of all the actors that went through the X Files. Excuse me. Some people got their start on the X Files, and it's always fun to see those characters as they develop over years, that where they got their start on a TV show or something like that, and just to watch their progression as they grow as an actor. And I don't know if I'll ever act myself, in another movie or not, but I've been in two films as an EMT, and then I've got this voice acting gig under my belt, so that's fun. Yes, you are talking to an actor, an artist, and a military veteran, all at the same time. And I know some other people that are like that. Santiago Cirillo, I will name drop him all day long. He was Julio in The Walking Dead, and he's been in a bunch of other films as well. He is actually in post production for another film right now. Uh, I'm pretty sure he got that gig because he was on his way to go there. But he's also going to comic book conventions at the same time, horror conventions and things like that. So you can always catch him out there and about. In July, his show is coming up. The Scared City Productions presents the High On Nation show. This will be the third year for them, and I will be sad to miss it. But it is just my preference this year not to go to any comic book conventions at all. Just so that I can focus on rebuilding my brand of 412 Productions, since I changed my name at the beginning of this year. And the reason I did that, and 412 is not a scripture from the Bible. It is a time. If you're on the Facebook and YouTube channel, you'll see what I'm talking about because I do have my logos up, one on top of the other. The 412 Productions, Art of Monty Anderson, and then underneath that one, I've got the 412 Productions, the Art of Monty Anderson, and the time clock, the alarm clock right there, stylized alarm clock there, and the 412 comes from, and I'm telling the story again for those of you that have been on my show. I'm sorry, but some of the new people need to know because I do get questions like, "What does 412 mean?" and all that stuff. And I'm assuming people think that it is from a verse from the Bible or something like that, but no. The 412 comes from waking up at 4:12 a.m. a lot of times. There was a long stretch in there that it was almost every day that I would wake up at 4:12 in the morning, and this was even before the military. And I credit it to my grandfather because we would wake up super early. Not at 4:12; it was always a little before that because in the summers you had to get out on the water before right at dawn, right at daybreak, and so when the sun is rising, you can get on that water and take off and go to your fishing spot, and then start your fishing day with your top waters before you went to your spinners, before you went to your crankbaits, all that good stuff, before you went to your worms even, and that attraction of that top water bait going across the water, all that good stuff. But no, I used and after that, I would wake up a lot of times at 4:12 a.m. in the morning, and it would be like I'd roll over, and before I had a cell phone, I would look at the time clock, the alarm clock there, and it would say 4:12. Well, after I got my phone, alarm clocks went out the window, and I would pick up my phone, flip it up, 4:12 a.m. Okay, set it down. Trying to go back to sleep one day, and this light from heaven shine in my eyes. No, I'm just kidding. This big flash of productions went across my eyes. And it was like, productions? What does this mean, productions? And it's like, and then I put 412 with it, and it was like, 412 Productions. Okay, that's pretty catchy. And like I said, this is about 5-6 years ago when this happened. And from there, 412 was born. 412 Productions was born, but I never did anything with it. Thank you for the likes. Please like, share, and follow. That always helps out our channel here. You can also go up to my page, follow my other socials by hitting the link for my website. It is a Canva 412 Productions up there. And you can follow my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, which you are here. So please like, follow, and share this broadcast. We talk about comic books. We talk about artwork. We talk about movies. We talk about voiceovers, which I do. I am an actor. I am a voice actor, and I am also an artist and a military veteran. So, um, so 412 Production was born, and I just never did anything with it. And so as I sat there with it, just floating through my mind, it was like, what can I do with this? What will I do with it? Because I already had my other business title, everything. Everybody knew it. Circle logo, AGK, Anderson Graphics Kingdom, all that good stuff. And it was just like, what am I going to do with this other thought, this other entity in my head? And so I did nothing with it for the longest time, for about 6 years. And then my last two shows in 2024, which was the San Antonio Space Con, and then it went into uh, Bonesy Jonesy's Comic Book and Collectibles. I was in a actual comic book store for this event, and those last two events brought to light, it's time for change. It's time to change your approach on everything. It's time to change your approach on how you sell your merchandise. It's time to do some different things. And I have other artists to credit for that, like Fantasy Realms, Mr. Rasmussen out there. He's been doing airbrushing for a very very long time. Very awesome artist, very cool dude, down to earth. Sorry that I won't be seeing him at any of the conventions this year. But he's the one that got me into thinking about doing canvas prints for my artwork. And so it was like, that is a good idea, because that gives you the fan, the friend, the family now, something substantial to take home with you, instead of just taking home a piece of paper that you can get a frame for and stick on your wall. This gives you a already framed, if you will, canvas print, you know, thicker stock, and it's something that you can go home, hang it on your wall right then immediately if you wanted to. And it will; those will come in two different sizes. It just depends on the piece, what it dictates the size will be. Now, my regular artwork, sorry, will be just the 11 by 17 standard stock style that you can buy a frame for anywhere, or stick into an artwork portfolio, and that way you've got it to flip through and enjoy the artwork that way. Or unless you've got the wall space, like a lot of people talk about whenever they're at the comic book convention. Well, I don't have the wall space anymore. I'm running out of room. And it's just like, you've got ceiling space like mine up here that looks like crap, up here, because it's still a work in progress. Um, I'm like, you got ceiling space, right? And they're like, well, yeah. I was like, well, what's the problem? Start hanging them on the ceiling. And that's like me as a kid, as a teenager. My walls were taken up with posters and rock memorabilia, and then my ceiling also had posters and you know all kinds of things on the ceiling, and so pretty much every spot in my room was covered in posters and pictures and everything else of rock bands and women and I mean like Lita Ford and Pat Benatar back in the day and Vixen and I mean all these girl bands and things like that and then scantily clad bikini women when you went to the fair and you won those posters that you could throw the darts at the balloons and things like that. But um, yeah, I had stuff everywhere, so the ceiling was not off limits. The ceiling was fair game, you know. And I'm sure there's plenty of other people that did the same thing. Um, I see some people's garages and they've got, you know, banners and tapestries and things like that sitting on their ceiling as well. So that's still relevant today. You know, you have that opportunity to use every inch of your room that is your man cave or your she shed or whatever it is. And it's just fun and exciting to get to talk to people about all kinds of different things when it comes to, you know, the movie world, the voiceovers that I do, the um, the artwork that I do, and and it's always more fun whenever the artwork goes into your hands, and that way it's not sticking with me, you know. And give me just 1 second, folks, because I've got to unlock the door so that the pig can get some food. Yes, the pig is awake. Yes, the pig is in the house, folks. Hold on just a second. I will be right back, I promise. You guys can probably still hear me. I don't know. It's not flashing, so that means that you guys probably can't still. And you get to see my Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th pajama pants. You're lucky I've got pants on at all. But we're not that kind of show. So hopefully you all are doing good out there. Hopefully, and I do appreciate each and every one of you stopping in and checking out the channel. Um, that's the life of a homesteader. What just happened right there? The pig is waking up early for some reason. She usually doesn't wake up till about 6 o'clock. But here lately, she's been waking up a little bit earlier than normal. She is a potbelly pig. She is a mix between a coon coon and a Juliana. And good morning, Mr. Joe Bradley. You're late to the show. Super late to the show. We're 45 minutes into this thing. You're just now showing up? Jeez Louise, dude. Late bloomers, man. Late bloomers. But I appreciate you being here, Mr. Roy. You are a joy, a good friend, and a Dallas Cowboy fan. Yeah, I figure you just woke up. The late bloomer. Jeez Louise. But no, we are looking forward to the remainder of this year. Lots of cool stuff is going to happen. I'm going to be working more on my comic book, uh, and that's the fun and exciting stuff being an artist when you get to work on your own entities. I'm going to be doing more character development as well as I'm going to do some killer paintings for these covers for my own comic book, and I'm excited if you can't tell. Just because working on your own project is a little more fulfilling than working on somebody else's stuff. Yes, I want my stuff out there on other people's comic book covers. Yes, I want my stuff in your hands, and on your walls. Yes, you get to see the office with no background. And directly over my right shoulder, right there, that is an original James O'Barr. It's called Tiny Dancer. It is of a dancer right there. And then right here, these are Ken Hunt's three pieces: Batman, Wolverine, and uh, the Hulk. Uh, and those are cool little pieces right there. Down below, what is down below? What's under her? See, I can't even tell you what's back there right now. What is back there? Oh, that's the Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just picked that one up not too long ago. And uh, then I've got some other pieces there that you can see. Those were all free at a comic book conventions back in the 90s. And some of these people are dead now, like Stephen Hughes right here. He's gone. Art Nichols, which is actually behind the TV screen, his Spider-Man piece back there, he passed away. I just found that out. He was a decent dude, but apparently he was battling some serious internal demons. So with that note, if you are battling internal demons, depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide, call 988 or hit me up in my DMs. Seriously, uh, the world is a better place with you in it. I used to have thoughts of suicide, especially after my son died back in 2009. For the long stretch of time, probably about 6 months or so, there wasn't a day that I didn't think it was better off that I wasn't here. You know. But then I got to thinking about my girls, my two daughters that are still around, and it's better for them to have a father than to have a casket or a plot to go look at. You know. Mr. Roy says the new Captain America movie is awesome. I've heard mixed bags about it. I will wait until it hits the streaming service, and I know you found it on an app, which is cool, buddy. I appreciate you telling me about that. And just be careful. Those apps can lead to trouble sometimes. But no, uh, there are apps out there that you can watch movies earlier than anybody else while they're still in the theaters, and sometimes before they even hit the theaters, they've got them on these apps already. Sometimes it's just like when I was in Afghanistan, we used to get the bootleg versions of the movies before they uh, actually hit the DVD. And so when we went to the bazaar, we would be looking through all the movies and find some of the new titles. Oh, this one's in theaters right now, and then you get it and start watching it on on your player, on your DVD player, and it's literally filmed inside the movie theater. So you got people moving in front of the camera, you got it blurring in and out, you got people talking, laughing, cringing, whatever. Hold on, folks. Trying to see what's going on here. What the fuck? Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable. What? For some reason, I just got flagged by TikTok or by someone out there. Um, well, I appreciate that, Mr. Roy. He said, I'm a kind hearted human being that's helped him out with what's happened to him, and just keep talking to him. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be a dick to people. Um, but now that whole warning thing that just popped up is kind of funny because if you find my show offensive, don't come to it. I'm talking comic books. I'm talking movies. I'm talking real life stuff. I'm talking about, suicide prevention, you know, and I guess that's what they're talking about, the sensitive material. Um, and it is sensitive material, but it's to help people out, to spread awareness that there are resources out there for you to help you um, if you're going through a problem spot. Uh, and you know, and I will always talk and listen to somebody because apparently that's what I'm good at is a good listener. I should have been a therapist in another life, or maybe I was a therapist in another life. Who knows? But yeah, I've got a restriction on my TikTok right now for whatever reason because of that. Because of saying suicide prevention, throwing out 988. Um, TikTok, I mean, some of the stuff that you get restricted for is ridiculous. When you have women out there on live shows or even their their recorded stuff is, you know, hamsturbation out there, and yet I get a restriction for something I say, or I get a day ban because of something that I show. One of my pieces of artwork got flagged, you know, and it flagged my whole show, and they were like, "Well, you won't be able to come back until the 20th." Well, I appealed it. I won the appeal, and I was back the very next day for my show. And the ridiculousness of some of the restrictions that and now some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Wow. That just shows how sensitive this world has gotten. When you can't even talk about preventions, but yet you can show hamsturbation and um, other things on TikTok. No, you didn't get me into trouble. I was talking about preventions, and I guess somebody got butthurt about prevention in 988, which I've never been flagged for those before. So because I've talked about them before, and it's just like the other stuff when I showed my cover of Chun Li holding herself, covering herself. Um, I'd shown that cover a zillion times. I talked about that cover a zillion times here, and like I said, shown it and all that stuff. But apparently, someone got offended by it and turned it in. So that's what got me the restriction. But because they thought I was peddling sexual activity and all kinds of other stuff, and that's not what happens here. You know, uh, yes, I do not safe for work artwork. Yes, I do some erotic artwork, but that's not what my show is about. That is not what I talk about on a regular basis. If you go to any of my live shows, look at any of my live shows, you can see what I talk about. We talk about comic books. We talk about movies. We talk about real life. We talk about homesteading. We talk about painting. We talk about my voiceover work. We talk about my actor work. But yet here I am getting restrictions because someone or someone's out there decide they can't handle a little bit of real talk. Whenever you're trying to help someone from taking their life out there, you know, and or you talk about the boobs or you talk about other parts of the human anatomy. Well, everybody's got them for the most part. Um, there are circumstances where they don't, uh, and that's unfortunate circumstances because cancer sucks. Okay, uh, but hold on, folks. Now she's gonna gripe the whole time. Had to kick her out. She realized the door was ajar and decided to come on in. Let's see here. But cool. Um, but yeah, no, it is exciting times that we live in. But you, there's a lot of sensitive people out there, is what I'm talking about. Because apparently you can't even say, you're trying to help people from harming themselves without a restriction popping up. And then it took out some comments apparently to protect the people. Let's see what it said here. Oh yeah, some community or some comments in the live were filtered to protect the community's experience. And I don't know which ones would be filtered out because nothing is bad out there. I mean, Roy's the only one talking, so hey, I know he didn't talk crazy out there. And so I don't know, what TikTok is being sensitive about or someone out there is being sensitive about me trying to help someone. Um, you know, and that's the bad part about society anymore. You try to help people and you get turned into the villain. I'll play the villain role. Come at me. Come at me, bro. Because if you're trying to really help somebody, um, why are you going to report a channel? You know, and there's a lot of channels that's all they talk about strictly, and they, you know, truly help people out there, and I don't get why somebody wants to report a channel for talking truth about trying to get some help for somebody. You know, unless you are just that type of a person that truly doesn't care about somebody else, and and then that's on you. That's on you as a person. It shows your character as a person, and I'm sorry for that. You know, and I know there are a lot of people out there that are like that, but we'll still continue to talk about the things we talk about. We will talk about 988 if you have anxiety, depression, or things like that. There is help out there. You can call that number, text that number, 988, or hit me up in my DMs, like I said, and I will talk to you. I will listen to you. So don't let negativity stop you from doing something. Like I talked about in one of my other shows, if you have a true dream, go after that dream, and just chase that dream like a kid in a Batman shirt, a kid in a Wonder Woman shirt. Chase that dream out there. But I do appreciate each and every one of you being here, checking out the channel. Even though I get a little irritated with TikTok and the restrictions sometimes, I don't see why I was restricted again today. Um, but it's been a great show. It's been a great show. We've talked about the new comic book cover that I'm going to be working on. We've talked about the David painting over here. We've talked about my own comic book in the works, 4-issue miniseries. We've talked about the voiceover gig for this Power Rangers fan film that's getting ready to hit that I'm voicing over for Champ, one of the characters there that fights the Power Rangers. Um, we've talked about 988 if you need that. We've talked about homesteading, and you guys got to hear the pig, or you might not have heard the pig, but you can hear her screaming because that's what she does. Um, and so yeah, it's been a good show, except for the restrictions that apparently I got today for talking about suicide prevention. Um, and so, you know, it's always fun when new things pop up on your screen from TikTok. Uh, and you just want to smack it a little bit right there. TikTok. But no, seriously, folks, it is all fun. But there are serious matters that need to be addressed. from time to time. And I don't talk about that on all of my live shows. So, you know, we do talk about more fun stuff from movies to the new movie of Captain America that Mr. Roy Joe Bradley liked. He didn't think he was going to like it because of um, Mr. Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk. He thought that was going to be a deterrence for him, but it was not. And good morning, Audrey. And sorry that the pig is screaming, even though she already ate and tried to break into my office because the door was unlocked. And so, sorry she was screaming for you. Because, like I said, she already ate. I already put food in her bowl um, and all that good stuff. So, there was no reason for her outburst that she had. But I do appreciate each and every one of you being here. Like, share, follow. Go up to my profile page up there. Not you guys on Facebook and YouTube, but right here on TikTok. You can go up to my profile page. You can go up there and find my website. And from my website, you can hit all of my social medias and follow. Um, and yes, Roy said, yes, it proved me wrong. The Captain America movie. It was a great one. As I just added those last words in there because he did say it was a great movie previously and already. So, but again, I appreciate each and every one of you being here, liking, sharing, following, uh, talking about the program. If there's anything that you want to talk about, hit me up in the DMs, and we will address it because we we want to talk about all things comics, artwork, movie related, and the acting side of it all, military side of it all. If you're a veteran or if you're currently in the military, appreciate you. You're a brother or sister at arms, and I am, like I said, a disabled veteran myself, and so I do homesteading and artwork on a full time basis. This is my job, and whenever restrictions happen on my page, um, that hurts the job. It's like a job performance review. I laughed at my job performance reviews too, at my real job that I did have. And I would get into arguments over some of the reviews that they gave sometimes. But that's neither here nor there. But I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping in, checking out the channel, and being here live with us today, which is the 3rd. We're going to pick up some more chickens today. We're going to pick up 10 more Easter eggers today. So we're going to have a bunch of laying hens soon. We have our New Hampshire Reds that should be getting ready to lay at the beginning of April. So at the end of this month, beginning of April, we should have some 7 new layers out there. They if all 10 of them turn out to be roosters, they're going to be food. So there better not be a bunch of roosters out of it. They better not be a half and half mix, is what I'm saying. So, because I will be highly upset, and I will be contacting this person straight up. But I was watching somebody on TikTok that had a Vevor incubator, and he was like, "Yes, sometimes the way you can tell is that the males will be the quickest to the food dish." And so, yeah, but I hope we only end up with like one roux out of this thing, and I really don't want 5 and 5 because that just kills it all. And I mean, I guess we could do a 2-for-1 trade to that guy again on some roosters for hens, but apparently he's getting an abundance of roosters too. And you just can't give roosters away anymore because so many people have so many freaking roosters right now. And yeah, it's just Yes, yes. The Iam Samanis. Yes, we've got some all black roosters or all black chickens. We're hoping to get at least one rooster out of these, just because, um, we can create some zombie chickens with these. And if you don't know what a zombie chicken is, go look it up. It's very cool. It is the Iam Samanis mating with a white longhorn or leghorn. What was it called? Is the leghorn? But anyway, it creates this gray to red on its crop and comb, and then the black eyes are black, and then it's got a little bit of grays and black feathers. Yeah, white leghorn, and so it's a very cool looking bird. Um, some people say it's a very terrifying looking bird, but I think they're very cool looking, and I'm hoping that we can get some like that. So that should be fun. But we're hoping for at least one rooster out of this breed of bird, and go from there. But with that, folks, I am going to leave you to it. I got artwork to do, and I know I could be doing it while we're talking, but then you're going to be looking at the side of my head like this while I'm all over here, and you guys can't see me unless I change my view on TikTok. But I'm going to leave you to it, and you guys have a great morning. If you're going back to bed, go back to bed. If you're up for the day, I'm sorry. Um, like I am, I'm up for the day, and so I'll be doing artwork until it's feed time, and then feed time, we'll do a little bit more artwork before we have to go and get these new chickens. So, but I appreciate each and every one of you all out there, and I appreciate each and every one of you stopping in, checking out the channel, and being here. Please like, follow, and share, so that we can be on the same wavelength for the day. But I appreciate you all, and as I like to say, as I leave you for the day, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.